Yo hackers, good evening. So welcome to the new video on the anti-analysis series, where we are going to have a look at the check if remote debugger present Windows API function. Right. So before getting to the function, rate the wallpaper, bro. Of course, it has been like it's not my own wallpaper, or it's not the one which I designed, but yeah, I generally love Shanghai and I generally love China. So yeah, I know this is something that is like. Apart from the video, but I just want to add some sort of extra bad joke or a bad content. So that's the reason I'm appending this. So before getting into the actual thing, the main thing is about what the hell is a remote debugger present is all about, right? So as the name suggests that it will check a remote process, right? That whether it is being debugged or not. At the same time, it also has the capability to check that whether the current process is also being debugged or not, right? So how it does. So while inspecting the arguments of the parameters that needs to be passed to the check remote debugger present is you have two main parameters arguments, I would say. The first one is about the handle H process, and the second one is about the PB debugger present. So the first one, which is the handle H process, generally what happens in Windows, like if you want to perform any sort of operations over a particular process, a running process, you need to opt in and handle to that process, right? So of course, like if you want to check a particular process, a remote process that is being debugged or not, you first need to opt in and handle to that particular the remote process, and then you need to and then you can able to, right. And the second part is the p bool, which is a pointer to a boolean value, and it's like the name is like pb debugger present. As what it explained that this is the one which actually determines it whether the particular the process being debugged or not, right. So in this video, I'm going to mostly focus on the local process, and the next video I will showcase you that how we can actually bypass the the debugging process on a remote process. Okay. So as what I explained in the last video that the is debugger present, it actually solely relies on its return value, or which is being stored on the EAX or in the RAX register, right? And of course, it's to focus him on the true and false Boolean value. Like if zero, then there is no debugger detected, and if one, then the debugger is detected. Right? This particular window, this particular check remote debugger present is also somewhat similar to the similar one to the previous one, the is debugger present. But the difference is like here, it actually if the process is being debugged, then it will store the value of FFFFFFF, and sorry, like it was too fast, like it's around 8x, indicating that it is -1, right? So, what happens here? Again, the return value here is stored in the EX or in the RX register, right? So, if we want to pass this binary, if we want to bypass, what you need to do here is about, of course, you need to again change the value of the EX from FFFF to the zero to zero zero. But here we have a catch. I will actually showcase that. Like we have multiple methods to do this, but I'm going to utilize a new technique here. Not a new technique, of course, it is a known one, but somewhat an unconventional one to be precise, right? And beneath here, um, I have a small, small assembler code. Okay, this is what the implementation of the check remote debugger present looks like. Okay, so again, as you can see, it has been pushing the value -1, which, as what I said, is the value of FFFF, etc. This value is being pushed on the stack, and again, there is an test condition where, based on the result, it will be it will be jumping that whether the process is being debugged or not. Okay, so now the actual part comes into the play. I have a I have a C binary. I have a C file here, right? You can ignore this part. I actually added this particular part for my to sort out the compilation issues. Okay, the actual part starts here, where of course we are calling the check remote debugger present. Of course, this particular check remote debugger present is also from the same kernel .dll. Okay, so again, what it does is the get current process Windows API. It actually gives information about the current process, about the current running process, right? So as what I explained a few minutes back, that we are going to test the like we are going to bypass, or we are going to test the local process, and the next video we are going to check the same scenario against a remote process. So for that sake, I have added the get current process, and of course the debugger present, which also to be precise, the check remote debugger present. What it does, it actually internally calls the is debugger present, right? Um, to say that in one word. Okay. And what happens, like if the particular binary is being debugged, it will say like it's very wrong, bro. DMT in 2026 and the debug detected part, it will print a message box similar similar to the same fashion. We have the TVK in 26 if there is no debugger detected. Our primary goal is to make the binary to print this part, even to print this message box, even if it is being debugged in a debugger, right? So now the action starts. So I have compiled the binary here. If I run this, it says TVK in 2026, meaning that no debugger detected. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do here, I actually gonna run the same. I like actually going to run the same process in the debugger, and we are going to check like what it's actually going to print at the final or at the end. So I've already loaded the binary into Certain debugger. Okay. So let me run this, and you can see that it's very wrong, bro. DMT in 2K26, meaning that the debugger detected. So as what I said in the explanation part, that we need to print this particular message area, the message box, which is the TVK 2026. Of course, this is somewhat going to be similar to that of the is debugger present patching thing, but a slight variation. Okay, by the way. So yeah, the patching part is like it is like somewhat similar. So I can go to the symbols in the kernel of the DLL. I have I need to check for check remote debugger. I'm gonna put a breakpoint here, right? So if I run the program, yeah. So we currently got halted execution at the time of breakpoint, right? So now I'm actually going within this function or into this function, the check remote debugger one. Okay. So yeah, again we need to go through this and make sure that uh, when coming to this part, you actually press F8 instead of F7. The reason is because if you press F7, it will actually go into the empty query information process, right, which is kind of out of scope for this video, and it will actually like, kind of start digging deeper into that particular function where like it is of no use. So you can directly use F8 here to step over the function, and again, so this is the part I was actually talking about, right, where you need to patch the value here. You can see that in the current we have the SSFF being placed, that meaning that it is being like it is the process being debugged. Okay, so again you need to patch this. So instead of using the conventional method, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to change the instruction a bit. Again, the same thing. You need to click on assemble. Instead of compare, we can use move instruction here, right? So what it does, the move instruction, it actually overrides the value instead of comparing it. Okay. So if I give OK, right, and I can directly give F9, and you can see that TVK in 2026, meaning that no debugger detected. And yeah, it's kind of a short video. We'll meet sooner, guys. I hope this video might have helped you at some point. Okay, so bye. Yo hackers. Harang goma.